So I'm working on a slide on Parley Show, and I just wanted to show you how you can edit it with voice. And I'm just going to be building the slide live so you can see my thinking. And as I change, all I'm going to do is I'm just going to talk to the slide, and then we'll see the edits in the slide in real time, basically. So this slide is actually just about how we think about building software versus buying software, especially for enterprise customers. The calculus has changed a bit, so I wanted to flesh out these thoughts. So I think you're going to see me. What I'm going to do is all I have to do is push space on this slide here, and then it's going to turn on the microphone, and I'm going to just voice the changes that I want to make on the slide. The point of this slide is to suggest to enterprise customers that the calculation for building versus buying software in today's age with generative AI is still a nuanced debate, but the nuances are different. And I'm going to explain a little bit more why. So this part is wrong. That's not correct. Like, I have this style of making slides where I don't like these sort of like nebulous titles. This is just a subject heading, but what I want is actually I want the main point in the title. I don't want to force the reader to have to read through the description to understand what we're trying to say here. So actually the main point of the slide is to suggest that building versus buying software in the age of GenAI has a different calculus. It's easier to build software, but maintaining software is still a big pain, even though it's much cheaper. Can you make that as a title? And for this title, make it left aligned, and it should hug the top of the slide so you can get rid of the strategy and the AI era tags behind it. Bring it up to the top, left aligned, and it should be at max 2 sentences, or also 2 lines, max 2 lines. And also the details that you have in the boxes under the build and buy sections, they should all be left aligned. Can you put my company name at the bottom right? My company's name is Young and AI. That's spelled Y-O-U-N-G, and then the ampersand and AI for artificial intelligence. I think for the first point under build, we should say custom software is cheaper to build. Custom software is much cheaper to build with generative AI. But there's a point about this, which is that when you build software yourself, the cost of the software is usually amortized by the number of users. If your software is only going to be used by 100 people or 1,000 people, there's still a cost, and that needs to be amortized by the number of users. And what do I mean by that? When you build software and 100 people use it, then you have 100 people that could potentially give feedback on what's not working, and they give some thoughts as to how to make the software better. And so you're using up like 100 people's times or 100 people's minds to contribute to the software. And this gets better and better as you get more and more users. So if you get 1,000 users, 10,000 users of your software, then you get a lot more people giving feedback, and that improves the software over time. If you only have one user of your software that you built, you rely on that one person to think about all the affordances of this app, of the software that you built, all the bugs and the features, and they have to be responsible for it, even though coding is now technically free or very cheap. So can you make that a part of the point in somewhere on the slide? For the build side and the buy side, we're not trying to lean towards one or the other, but we're trying to explain pros and cons. So I think for both columns, we're probably going to have a pros section. So maybe just like a subheader of pros, and then we list down those pros, and then below that we list out cons. And we do the same thing for the buy side. And so the color for the build and buy will also need to change to be a little more neutral, not red and green. So under the cons of buying software these days, now a lot of SaaS software needs to include AI as the feature set. And AI generally means token costs. And these are like variable costs. So the more you use their software, then the more it's going to cost that software vendor. And so the calculus for how to charge for these usage-based is not fully fleshed out yet, and it's changing. You might be able to get a good deal with SaaS software if they're able to optimize their cost. So maybe you can include that as a point under buy somehow. Oh, something froze on this slide. Okay, I think there's still more to be done, but what I wanted to demonstrate here in this video is that actually it's become a little bit easier to make slides. And this is how I used to make slides, which is I used to look at a slide and I used to use a voice recorder to note down everything I want to change on the slide. but then I would have to go back and listen to that recording, take notes, and then make those edits manually. But now with Parley.show, actually we can just make those edits live with just a voice input. Cool. Thanks for watching this recording.